How's it going, gamers? RebelX here in the War Room. We're back in action. New year, new hardware. We're going to be showing games off at 1080p, 60 frames per second. And to kick things off, we're going to show Overwatch. We're going to go to the offensive characters first, defensive, supporting, and healing. And to start things, let's talk about Genji for the offensive team. Now, Genji is a cybernetic ninja. Now, despite him being put in the offensive category, he's actually, for my personal experience, he's not meant to be on the front lines very long. He's a very, very soft character. You can be killed very quickly. But the thing I love about Genji is that he is perfect for hunting down weakened opponents. Whenever an enemy's trying to make a break for it, he is perfect to hunt them down. Now, when you start a game off as Genji, the best thing to do is to flank your opponents. Stay within the proximity of your teammates to help them out, but flank at all times. Genji's, one of his best abilities, which is actually not really showcased that much, is the fact that he can climb over objectives. So whenever your teammates are hunkered down or they're protecting a moving convoy, sneak behind your opponents, activate, say, maybe your special ability, which is perfect for hunting down opponents. This ability can cut the distance between you and the enemy. Now, when you're not having your special ability activated for yourself, the best thing to do is use his quick shift ability, which allows him to close the distance between him and his opponents. And whenever you're up against, say, a Bastion or any type of quick gun character, deflect their shots back at them. Time the shot perfectly. Now, because Genji can be so quick, it's perfect for him just to harass your opponents. So always remember, when you're playing as Genji, do not lead the assault, okay? Stay in the proximity of the assault, go around the enemy, flank as best as you can. That's the best way to use Genji. Moving on to our next offensive character, it is McCree, the cowboy. Now, the best thing I like about McCree is that he is perfect for close quarters combat, believe it or not. Now, whenever you're playing as McCree, try to conceal enemies within a closed area. That way you can use his flashbang ability, which you see right there, which can stop opponents' special abilities activating and blind them and stun them for a few seconds. The next thing too is that he has a quick fire ability. As you just saw right there, I used on Reaper. Now, whenever you're up against opponents who are at maximum health or even half health, the quick fire ability is a great way to scare them or at least finish them off, so your next round will be able to kill them instantly. It's great for fighting up against opponents such as Tracer or Widowmaker at a distance. Very cool thing. Now, his Deadeye ability, which is his ultimate ability, keep in mind about this ability. This ability is a one-hit kill when you lock on with a skull, but you are slowed down to a crawl. You are very vulnerable when you activate this ability, so I recommend not activating unless your opponents are at a distance, or if you're surrounded by friendlies who can either heal you or distract the enemy long enough for you to use your ability. But try to use your advantage in close quarters with your pistol. Try to keep them at a bay when you use your flashbang, and that's the best way to use McCree. Now moving on to Pharah, the next offensive character. She's a tough customer and packs a mean rocket launcher, and she can fly, so she's got everything all packed into one. Now the thing I love about this character is that she's a great suppression fire character. She can hold back an entire team on her own, and that rocket launcher packs a punch. Keep in mind though, when you're firing this thing, make sure you're staying at a distance. The rocket launcher can actually do damage to yourself if it hits around very close by to you. So, as I said before, try to use your rocket launcher to keep opponents at bay. She's perfect for playing defensive, but most importantly though is that whenever she can take off into the air, whenever opponents are getting bearing down on you, press the jump button and you can actually glide for a few seconds. You can actually boost yourself into the air, but make sure you're always constantly using her to hold back opponents. Now, her special ability packs a punch as well, but keep in mind though, characters like Genji and a few others can deflect your shots back at you. The best thing to do is take to the air and then activate your ability from above. Opponents will not be expecting that, they won't be looking for you up there, so always take to flight whenever you're playing as Pharah, when you want to activate your special ability, and when you're constantly playing on the defensive. She's great for both. Moving on down the list now, we're looking at Reaper, one of my personal favorites. Now, Reaper's special abilities are pretty cool, but they're mostly meant for quick get in, get out situations. He has a teleporting ability that allows him to place himself on anywhere in the map, but one of his best abilities is the fact that he can turn into a ghost, making himself invincible. Now, to play as Reaper, the best way to play as him is to harass the enemy, but do not stay on the front lines for too long. He's just like, to me, I kind of use him like I use Genji. He's perfect for taking out already weakened opponents. Because of the fact that he has an ability that turns him into a spirit, he can move across the map without ever being hit, as you see right here. And of course, as you see, my teammates are trying to mop up the enemy right now, but they're not quite finishing off just yet. But his shotguns pack a punch, and as I said, Reaper's perfect for taking out already weakened opponents and continuing to harass the enemy and hold the line, waiting for your teammates to either come back or waiting for them to jump into the fray when they have to heal at a distance. Now, when Reaper's special ability is activated, the best way to use this ability is at close range and behind the enemy lines. It doesn't have a large radius to hit these characters with this ability, but whenever you're playing, say, objective, sneak around them and hit them in the back, because most likely they're going to be gathered all around that thing. Continuing down our journey down the list of offensive characters for Overwatch, we're now looking at Soldier 76. Now, Soldier 76 is pretty much your cliche first-person shooter character. He has a machine gun, he can shoot grenade launchers, he can heal nearby opponents. But the thing I love about him so much is that I like to use him as a support class character. That little healing device he plops to the ground is perfect for protecting the objective or moving it down the lane. It's perfect for having your teammates nearby. But the thing I like about him as well is the fact that he can take punishment. And also, too, is the fact that his machine gun does pack a bit of a punch. It's great for mopping up nearby opponents, but it also has very good range as well. So, and also, my other favorite thing about him is, of course, his sprint ability. Now, when playing as him, the best thing to do, he's the hold the line type of character. He's great for trying to keep the enemy at bay whenever you're on the defensive, or leading the charge when you're on the attack. Now, when he activates his special ability, unfortunately, is very easy to avoid. However, when you pop his special ability, which allows him to auto-lock on to any nearby opponents and does extra damage to them, it's perfect for, say, keeping enemies at bay or mopping up already weakened opponents. So whenever you're playing as Soldier 76, always stay nearby your teammates, plop your healing device down, not just for yourself, but for your teammates. Do not be selfish with this guy. That healing ray can keep the momentum for your team, which is very important. And always, too, try to cluster your opponents into a corner. That way you can use your grenade launcher to mop them up and take them out quickly. Now, our final offensive character, which is becoming a quick fan favorite for people, is Tracer. Now, the thing I love about Tracer is that if you've noticed over this video, I've been mentioning how you should play offensive characters, the majority of them with harassing the enemy. Well, this character is basically the leader of that. So, the thing about Tracer is that her ability to teleport quickly across the battlefield and to rewind time to gain health is essential when you want to keep the enemy on their toes and keep them away from objectives. So, whenever you're playing as Tracer, try to go around the battlefield, do not head towards the front lines. Tracer can easily be killed at a very, very quick pace. So whenever you're playing as Tracer, try to cut the distance between you and your opponents by flanking them, but staying within your teammates' area to help support them. She's great for whenever the enemy launches a frontal assault, go around them and hit them from behind. The other thing too I love about Tracer, which I wish more people played as, is that Tracer should be the ultimate healing hunter. Whenever your opponents, say, have a mercy character or another healing character within the area, whoever's playing as Tracer, or if you have to switch to her yourself, immediately go after the healer. The healer will have too much of a worry to either be healing their teammates to worry about you, so you can get a quick kill, or they'll have to break off and try to attack you. Either way, their teammates will be vulnerable to yours. So whenever you're playing as Tracer, use her to harass the enemy, flank around, go after the healers as Tracer. She's perfect for that. Alright gamers, hope you enjoyed this quick video on Overwatch tips and tricks. We're doing more tips and tricks videos on this game very soon. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe to the War Room. Until then, we'll see you guys next time, here in the War Room.